For being aware in the instant from this and other information, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Two planes carrying hundreds of U.S. citizens from a coronavirus-hit cruise ship in Japan have arrived in the U.S. One plane landed at a U.S. Air Force base in California and the other in Texas. Passengers will be isolated at military facilities for 14 days. There were about 400 Americans on board the Diamond Princess. The ship, with some 3,700 passengers and crew, has been in quarantine since the 3rd of February. Meanwhile, China has reported 2,051 new cases in the past 24 hours. Of those new cases, 94% were from Hubei province, the epicenter of the outbreak. More than 70,600 people across China have been infected by the virus, with 1,771 deaths. Most new cases and deaths have been reported in Wuhan, Hubei's largest city. In other developments, in Japan, a public gathering to celebrate the birthday of new Emperor Naruhito later this week has been cancelled, due to concerns over the spread of the virus. Also in Japan, organizers of the Tokyo Marathon, due to take place on the 1st of March, have cancelled the amateur part of the race, affecting some 38,000 runners, after cases of the virus were confirmed in the city. Only elite runners will be allowed to take part in China. The People's Daily newspaper reported that Lu Jiming, the director of Wuhan's Huachang Hospital, had died of the virus. China's National People's Congress Standing Committee said it would meet next week to discuss a delay of this year's Congress, the Communist Party's most important annual gathering, because of the outbreak at the weekend. An American woman tested positive for the virus in Malaysia after leaving a cruise ship docked off the coast of Cambodia. There are fears for other passengers on the cruise, who are now dispersed around the world. A Russian woman who was ordered to go back to a quarantine facility by a St. Petersburg court has returned to hospital. Last week, Alla Ilyina escaped from the facility after testing negative 3 times for the virus, but was told to remain quarantined for 2 weeks. What will happen to the repatriated U.S. passengers? More than 300 passengers were being repatriated voluntarily, the U.S. State Department said. 14 of them were reported during transit to have tested positive for the virus and were being kept separate from the other passengers, it said. They will all undergo a 14-day quarantine, on top of the time they have already spent confined on the ship. The reason for that is that the degree of transmissibility, on that cruise ship, is essentially akin to being in a hotspot. Dr. Anthony Fauci, director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, told U.S. broadcaster CBS.